America killed how many people in Iraq? How many people in Afghanistan?
And it was all wrong.
And I never heard the word genocide once.
What do you mean? Adam, I left the military because of what we did in Iraq. Vincent Oshana, left because of 9/11 in Iraq.
Yeah, let me get to this next story. Here's the story
I don't understand your point.
Adam, let him go to the next story.
But what do you mean?
Adam.
What point? Explain the point.
Tell me the
what point is this?
We're fighting radical terrorism.
And your point is what?
And my point is,
I'm
saying from a tactical point of view, the way that they handled Gaza is flat. It's flat. So they killed almost 30.
Vinny, you got to pick a side here, bro.
No. Please don't play that game with me. Do not. Hold on. Do not.
You either want to take out terrorists or you don't.
Time out. Do not play the pick a side, Adam, when it comes to 25,000 or 20,000 children dead. Don't play that game with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Some arguments cease to be just arguments once someone in the room has first-hand experience with the topic everyone else is casually debating. That's exactly the case here. The discussion kicks off with topics like war tactics in Lebanon, but quickly escalates into a heated exchange over civilian casualties, military rationale, and the lengths people go to justify violence while safely behind a microphone. Adam Sosnick keeps trying to steer the conversation into clear-cut loyalty tests, but the individual seated opposite him isn't speaking theoretically, he's speaking from lived experience, and you can sense the frustration growing rapidly when the focus shifts to innocent civilians losing their lives. At a certain point, this debate seems less like a conversation and more like a collision of two entirely different sets of moral principles. Before we dive into it, I'd love to know your thoughts. Should Valuetainment consider moving on from Adam after such incidents, or are people being too critical of him? Also, I'm aiming to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the week, so if you enjoy these kinds of analyses, please hit that subscribe button. Okay, let's get started.
We can't pretend, Adam, everything was Iran, and then Israel went on full-on seizing land and attacking in Lebanon, and mind you, Adam, in heavily populated civilian and Christian parts of Lebanon, and they're literally seizing land. And it's looking now, because Adam, who's to stop them from just going, well, there's terrorists here, bomb them? Who's checking to see how many civilians are dying in Lebanon? Because if all you have to say is this, there's terrorists there. You could literally keep bombing, keep expanding until you've taken over as much land as you want. Obviously, I want Hezbollah taken out. Obviously, I want Hamas done. Obviously, I want ISIS done, which Trump basically did. But if you've been seeing, like I've been seeing, literally in the downtown area, you want to talk about Miami? I'm out in Miami, a whole apartment complex with civilians coming all the way down, and they're bombing it. So that's what I'm saying is, Adam, there's a huge Christian population there, which I'm not comfortable with them going on full offensive when you're supposed to be focusing on Iran. I get it. They could chew, what's the saying that you said before? Walk and chew gum. But it's like, bro.
What is this? What is this clip, Rob?
Yeah,
this was the strikes last week in Lebanon.
Yeah, that's okay. You want to kill one terrorist, so you do that? Let's just say there's one Hezbollah guy in there.
Why would you say there's only one?
I'm just saying, how many
Why did they take out that building?
Because are you telling me? Do you have reports?
So
I don't know, because there's
I appreciate your passion, and let me respond real quickly. 30 seconds ago, you didn't even know that Hezbollah was based in Lebanon.
I didn't say based. I said they were. I didn't say that. I said they're everywhere.
No, they're not. They're in Lebanon. Period. Full stop. You might say there's one guy who has a cousin who's hanging out in a different part of town. Hezbollah's in Lebanon, and this is exactly what it is. You just said, obviously, we want to take out Hezbollah.
Yeah. So kill how many civilians for one terrorist?
How do you assume that they do that?
What do you mean? Adam.
How do you?
Because I saw what they did in Gaza, and dude, Gaza is flat. It's flat. So they killed almost 30.
Vinny, you got to pick a side here, bro.
No. Please don't play that game with me. Do not. Hold on. Do not.
You either want to take out terrorists or you don't.
Time out. Do not play the pick a side, Adam, when it comes to 25,000 or 20,000 children dead. Don't play that game with me. Because if terrorists were in this location, Israel should have done. Let me finish.
Slow down.
No.
Listen, what do you mean children dead?
Adam, if you show Gaza right now, and I don't even want him to show it, look at what Gaza looks like. Was there Hamas everywhere?
Yeah.
Because it's flat. Okay. Well, that's
okay. By the way, the whole children, and I know we don't want to talk about this, the whole children dead. Why are children dead?
Think about that. Because when you throw caution to the wind and you don't do a ground invasion, go in the tunnels and go at everybody, you could just carpet bomb everybody and just say, well, there's terrorists there.
Just
That's
one
not
quick
fair.
question, follow up.
Yeah.
Where are these children hanging out?
Oh, what do you mean, Adam? They live there. They live there.
Are they by themselves? They're hanging out?
No,
on
the houses.
They're with their parents.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So they're with their parents, who are basically part of Hamas.
Oh,
So
all
yes,
the parents, is that your argument? Is that all these kids that died, these innocent children, their parents are Hamas?
Hold on a moment. Because what just went down is a classic example of one of the age-old tactics in debate. Adam Sosnick spots a shocking image of destroyed civilian homes on the screen, realizes that directly defending it would be disastrous, and quickly tries to divert the conversation to a safer ground. Instead of acknowledging the fact that families lived in that building, he abruptly shifts to questioning Vinny about whether he knows the precise locations of Hezbollah operations. This is not a genuine response to the deaths of civilians. It's an attempt to avoid confronting the emotional reality of the situation by turning the discussion into a technicality contest. And let me tell you, this is exactly what makes people lose their minds during political debates. Everyday viewers are watching the devastation: rubble, smoke, dead civilians, devastated homes, and mourning families, while someone behind a microphone is trying to win intellectual points as if it were some kind of courtroom showdown. Vinny catches on to Adam's maneuver instantly. You can see it in his expression. He notices how the conversation is being pulled away from the human cost and steered toward abstract jargon. And honestly, this shift is crucial because when discussions become abstract, civilian deaths start to sound like mere figures in a spreadsheet rather than real human lives. Then Adam takes it a step further by using the classic loyalty trap. The whole either you support eradicating terrorists or you don't stance is crafted to emotionally corner opponents rather than engage in an open and honest discussion. It's essentially a rhetorical ambush. The intent is to make criticism of civilian casualties seem like an endorsement of terrorism, and it's such a manipulative tactic because it strips away all moral complexity. By this reasoning, if you question military tactics or express concern over innocent casualties, you're instantly labeled as part of the enemy. What makes Vinny's response significant here is the fact that he speaks from military experience, not as some random internet loudmouth with conspiracy posters plastered all over his wall. He knows there's a vast difference between targeting armed combatants and using force that demolishes civilian areas. That distinction is vital. True soldiers understand that war is horrific enough without sweeping aside civilian deaths with superficial slogans, and, frankly, the conversation takes a dark turn when Adam starts implying that children connected to certain families lose their innocence due to their parents. That's a dangerously slippery moral path. Arguing that guilt is inherited through family ties, proximity, or geography is extremely troubling. History is littered with atrocities justified by this kind of reasoning. Entire communities have been dehumanized based on arguments of collective guilt. You can literally witness Vinny's disbelief as the conversation lifts beyond military tactics. They're now debating whether innocence itself can be erased just because someone was born near the wrong people or caught in an unfortunate place. And yeah, that's what makes this debate segment so unsettling. It transcends politics and becomes about how easily fear and ideology can lead people to justify the suffering of others.
I feel like we're going back years to have an argument.
Let's move on.
Where?
Please.
No, let's not move on. Let's stay right here. Hamas is embedded in society.
So kill everybody is your thing. Why'd they take so long?
What do you mean kill
them.
everybody? If they wanted to kill everybody, there'd be 1 million people dead right now. You have to understand, if they wanted to kill everybody, which they don't, a real genocide, there'd be 1 million people dead in Gaza. Do you know that? The fact that they're talking about only 60,000, half of which are Hamas, half of which are civilians, is a testament to the fact that they don't want to kill everybody.
It's a horrible ratio.
America killed how many people in Iraq? How many people in Afghanistan?
And it was all wrong.
And I never heard the word genocide once.
What do you mean? Adam, I left the military because of what we did in Iraq. Vincent Oshana, left because of 9/11 in Iraq.
Yeah, let me get to this next story. Here's the story I want to get.
I don't understand your point.
Adam, let him go to the next story.
But what do you mean?
Adam.
What point? Explain the point.
Tell me the
What
point.
point is this?
We're fighting radical terrorism.
And your point is what?
And my point is,
and your point, and I'm
saying from a tactical point of view, the way that they handled Gaza.
Vinny, respectfully, let him ask Pest's question.
Yeah.
Let him answer Pest's.
He's doing it.
What was the question?
What happened, Tom?
Yeah, he was doing it.
I thought you were asking him to explain this. And we were trying to.
No, I'm asking.
Bottom line is this. Whether you like it or not, the world, specifically the Middle East, has one major problem, brother. You know what that is?
No Christ. No Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's...
No, it's
Sure.
the truth.
Sure.
No Christianity. None of this would be happening if they were all believers in Christ.
Sure, great, gotcha. But they believe in radical Islam. So you just went to Christ. They believe in Allah. And they believe that they're going to reach paradise when they kill and maim and convert people or die. So you're going to have a choice of whether you're going to say, I really don't like to see innocent people dying. Nobody wants that. Or I'm going to let the radicals take over. I'm fully on the point of we're not letting them take over. you're kind of still straddling the middle respectfully. Well, we got to take them out, but we can't kill innocent people. That's a problem. We need Christ. Buddy, at some point, you're going to have to realize this is the problem, and Israel and the United States
What
is
do you think
addressing
is the
it.
problem? You think Israel's the problem or Islam's the problem?
I think tactically the way they're doing missions is not. For instance, is it okay if you want to kill 2 terrorists? Are you okay with them taking down an entire apartment complex that people are living in? I don't think. I think tactically, send in your ground troops. Mossad is dope. The IDF and all them, they don't want to get involved on the ground, which I think, Pat,
I love you, bro,
you'll save
but
civilians.
I think you're oversimplifying
No,
a very
I think put some
complicated
troops in there.
situation in a very.
Throw some troops on the ground. Go
What do you mean
fight the
throw
war.
some troops in
Hold up for a second, because this is the moment the discussion shifts from heated to truly unsettling. Adam Sosnick leans on an argument saying, if the death count doesn't meet historical extremes, certain terms are off limits. And wow, listen to how detached that reasoning is. It reduces humans to mere numbers. It's like suffering only becomes seriously important after hitting a certain unseen number. Such reasoning strips the humanity right out of the talk. What makes Vinny's response strong is his refusal to even entertain this numbers game. He immediately counters from an entirely different moral stance. For him, the issue isn't about reaching an arbitrary body count to justify some label. It's that innocent people are losing their lives in droves. Period. You can tell he speaks from a place of direct experience with violence. People who have witnessed war firsthand often have a very different approach to talking about death compared to those sitting in podcast studios. The conversation takes another twist when Adam brings up America's involvement in Iraq and Afghanistan as if to deflect. Clearly, he expects Vinny to sound like someone who opposes all military actions from afar, but Vinny flips the narrative with personal insight connected to Iraq, and you feel the room's vibe shift instantly. Suddenly, Adam isn't sparring over abstract ideas anymore. He's confronting beliefs forged through lived experience. It's notable how lost Adam appears here, seemingly unable to grasp that someone can serve their country yet recognize grave mistakes were made. For some, patriotism means unwaveringly defending military actions. For others, it's about the courage to acknowledge when harm outweighs peace. Vinny's stance dismantles Adam's attempt to box the debate into simple frameworks. This stark difference reveals a philosophical gap between the two. Adam speaks in extremes, seeing choices as either intense violence or complete surrender to extremism. Everything becomes this harsh dichotomy. Meanwhile, Vinny rejects this and focuses on morality, transformative change, and ending cycles of hatred rather than perpetuating them. Whether or not people agree with his spiritual angle, it's impossible to ignore the difference in their approaches. Tougher retaliation. The other side argues that violence without moral checks eventually corrupts everyone. Vinny delivers a gut punch with his final argument, criticizing how modern warfare separates decision-makers from the civilians suffering the consequences. If military action is truly necessary, he argues, there must be a direct responsibility to safeguard innocent lives instead of relying on distant destruction and waving away civilian deaths as mere side impacts. This point strikes hard, prompting reflection on how sanitized modern warfare appears to those watching comfortably from afar. Missiles are launched, buildings crumble, and the world moves on, yet ordinary families endure the fallout long past the media coverage. Anyway, guys, share your thoughts in the comments because this argument delves into heavy moral issues that clearly divide people. Do you think modern warfare allows governments to emotionally distance from civilian suffering too easily? Or is tough military action sometimes the only feasible response to violent threats? Also, if you've been enjoying these analyses, hit the like button and subscribe. I'm aiming for 1,000 subscribers by the week's end, and each subscription truly means more than you know. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.